Hey guys, welcome back to Hike Oregon. Today's video is the Boujee hiker and we're going to talk all about backpacking luxury items. If you are new here, welcome to the Hike Oregon family. I make hiking and backpacking vlogs as well as gear reviews and just general tips and tricks videos to help you become a more confident hiker and backpacker. If you enjoy content like that, click that red subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified every time I make a new video. And as always, if you want more content from me, you can support me over on Patreon, where for as little as just $1, you get 2 extra videos a month. So if you are not familiar with backpacking luxury items, it's basically anything that you don't actually need for your backpacking trips. So things like your water filter, your tent, your sleeping bag, your hiking shoes, all of those are necessities, right? So I'm not an ultralight backpacker, so I actually have quite a few luxury items. Some of them being my DSLR camera. It weighs like over 2 pounds. It is definitely a luxury item, especially because my iPhone takes really great quality photos, so I could literally just use my iPhone, and it really enhances my trip to be able to take awesome photos with my DSLR. So that's why I bring it, and that is one of my luxury items. Another luxury item that I bring are baby wipes. Again, not a necessity. You could literally get water from the creek or the lake and rinse off that way. I don't always get to camp in time to be able to do that. A lot of the time, by the time I get into my tent and get ready for bed, it is dark, it's late, and I just want to kind of wipe myself off inside the tent. I find that much easier than dealing with water and stuff like that. So I take baby wipes. They can be heavy, but to me it's absolutely worth it to climb into my sleeping bag feeling clean. You never get clean backpacking, but feeling a little less dirty. And speaking of feeling dirty, another luxury item I take is deodorant. I know, not necessary. You will stink regardless on a backpacking trip, even if you wear deodorant. But to me, I prefer to stink a little bit less. So I take, the travel size deodorant, doesn't weigh much, and it really helps me feel less gross, especially on those extended backpacking trips, the 5, 6, 7 nighters that I sometimes go on. It is really nice to be able to put deodorant on in the morning. So the fun part of this video is I asked you guys over on social media to let me know what your backpacking luxury items are, and I got quite a number of responses over on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm going to be going over those and sharing those with you. The most repeated answer was actually a camp chair. There was 21 people that said they take a camp chair and that's their luxury item, and absolutely that's a great luxury item because there is nothing better than being able to sit down comfortably on a backpacking trip. For me personally, backpacking is a lot of like bending over because everything is on the ground, you're doing stuff, you're squatting weirdly when you're cooking and stuff like that. I take a Thermarest Z-Lite mat that helps me be comfortable sitting down because I don't own a camp chair. The second most responses was a camp pillow for sleeping. There was 10 people that said camp pillow, and I understand that is one of my luxury items as well, but it's also an item that if I don't have enough space in my backpack is the first to leave. It's very luxury in the sense that it is absolutely not necessary for me. It just makes things a lot more comfortable and helps me sleep better. And then the third most commented response was a hammock. All of the people that responded said they don't sleep in the hammock, so it's not like their tent, it's not a necessity. They just bring it because they want to enjoy that luxury at camp. Laying in the hammock by a creek or a lake, it's so relaxing, maybe reading a book or a Kindle, which is also a response I read quite frequently, and just enjoying camp. So I'm going to read some responses I got over on Facebook first. Melanie said she brings a floaty, and there is an awesome picture that I will insert here. I have taken a floaty on day hikes before, not backpacking. That's definitely a luxury item. I love it. Brian said he brings boxed wine. sans the box. So he puts it in a different container. I love that. Marsh Violet said, I always bring a book, even if it's a hardback. I love laying in my tent at night and reading with my headlamp. Wow, that is bougie. You bring an actual physical book. I know a lot of people said they bring their Kindle. A book is a lot heavier than a Kindle, so props to you, Marsh. So Brad said flask of bourbon and his AeroPress. Okay, a flask of bourbon and the AeroPress. I love it. I think it's great. There's nothing better than taking a swig at night of the bourbon and having the AeroPress for a great cup of coffee in the morning. I love it. Terry said, I always bring my Kindle. She's a reading gal. Micah said, my Jessie and Dolly sleep socks for one, but I don't consider sleep socks to be a luxury. A true luxury to me is having enough water at camp so I can clean my face, legs, and feet. I love it. These socks are so cute. I will insert this photo. It's adorable. I too bring sleep socks. It is a luxury item, I think, because it's not necessary, but I really hate the feeling of naked feet on the sleeping bag material. There's something to me that is just, it's gross. Paul said, I have a pair of Nikon 10x50 binoculars. Ooh, I like to climb up high and look down at stuff and also the stars at night. That's so cool. I have not met anyone that takes binoculars. That is such a cool idea. Marla said her cozy down booties. I got you there, girly. Now that I have my down booties and I've had them on one backpacking trip, I think those are going to be a staple luxury item for me too. They are epic. Ed said he brings a Thermacell mosquito repeller. I still need to try one of these Thermacell things because I've heard they work pretty well. And here in Oregon, man, in June and July, that might even be a necessity. Rachel said a book, trying a Kindle Paperwhite next season so I don't need a lantern in the tent to see. That would kind of eliminate the heaviness of a book as well as the lantern. That's a great idea. And Angelique said, echoing others, Helinox Zero chair, which actually only weighs 1 pound. It's super awesome. And our mouse buddy Minerva, who joins us for backpacking. So cute. I'll insert this photo. Here she is relaxing with morning coffee at Arrowhead Lake. I love this. Okay, so now we are heading over to Instagram and we're gonna read some of those responses. So Wild Solitude Guiding said she brings an eye mask, skincare, fruit, slippers, and so much candy. Wow, girl, you are bougie. I think she wins the bougiest hiker of this video. An eye mask and skincare is so awesome. Way to go, girl. Fruit, I love it because fruit is healthy and I really crave fruit when I'm backpacking. And the slippers is great. And candy, I bring candy. I think that's a necessity. Annalisa Diaz said she brings canned cocktails. Margaritas are my fave. So I've heard good things about these canned cocktails. I'm gonna have to try these. Alex Michael said hot cocoa packets. I don't know that that's a luxury. I think that might be a necessity. McCoy Cree said canned wines, hacky sack, pencil and printed New York Times crosswords, and a paperback book. Wow, so she too loves the canned drinks. And a hacky sack, I've never actually seen someone bring a hacky sack, but that's a great way to pass the time at camp. Pencil and printed New York Times, that's pretty lightweight. And her paperback book, she's a reader. I love it. Mountain Trudger said GoPro and maybe my drone in the future. Minding May said lightweight sandals. I too bring lightweight sandals. There's nothing better than taking your hiking shoes off when you get to camp, maybe putting your feet in the creek to kind of cool them down, putting on some camp sandals. It is awesome. Explore with Beer said they bring beer. You've got to be crazy said I take a full quality coffee kit. Zero sacrifices. Absolutely. There is nothing better than a great cup of coffee in the morning, especially when you're backpacking. You need it because you're getting less sleep and it's just so awesome to have that morning cup of camp coffee. But I don't know that you need a full kit because if you have not tried CS Instant Coffee, it is by far the best coffee I've ever had. So try that and maybe you don't need to take the whole kit. Feel Vegsor said titanium spoon and Kula cloth. I would say those are definitely necessities. I mean, you need your spoon to eat, right? And your Kula cloth is for peeing. So I think that's a necessity. Logan Crumrine says Kindle. Another reader. I love it. Justin Couch, mixed cocktails. Cole Pulio said cribbage board. I have not heard of someone bringing a cribbage board. I've brought playing cards before, but they're like this little. They actually are so hard to play with because they're so tiny, but they work, and I love playing games at camp. Hugh said a glass bong. Now that is bougie. That is bougie, my friend. Why not just take a little pipe? Why take the whole bong? That is my question to you. Rask Burns said butt pad. It's almost a necessity because, I mean, you have to sit. You could sit in the dirt, but the butt pad is nice. Mally B said a couple of beers if we know there's going to be snow to keep them cold. I've done that. I've brought beer on one backpacking trip. In my whole hiking and backpacking career, we had snow to keep them cold in, and it was so awesome at the end of the day to enjoy that beer at the lakeside. It was great. Eliza Walks a Bunch said she brings her Kindle, her wireless headphones, and comfy camp shoes. AZ Colby 40 said hot chocolate and Captain Morgan's. Michaela G said compact hairbrush. I think a hairbrush is a necessity, girl, because if you don't brush your hair on your backpacking trip, you might get dreadlocks, rat's nest. I think a hairbrush is a necessity. Jimmy Murray said he brings whiskey. Holly Volton said she brings her Kindle, and I can attest to that. She's brought her Kindle on every single backpacking trip that I've gone on with her. PNW Patriot 1903 said solar chargers. Yeah, those things are awesome. They can be a little large and cumbersome sometimes, but if you know you're gonna have plenty of sun during your hike, I think they are really great to have. Dad's little girl Harley said sit pad and second pair of shoes. Jenny Ad said Kindle. Vatty Max Adventurer said roguelite inflatable boat. Wow. Okay, that's even more serious than the person that brought the floaty. I need to look up what this boat looks like because I am picturing like one of those big things with like oars and stuff. That's intense. So I'm going to insert a picture here of what this looks like because if it's one of those, dude, that's intense and very bougie. Lance Yokota said mirrorless camera and 28-inch tripod, total of 3.5 pounds. You must be a serious photographer if you're taking a tripod backpacking. I purchased a tripod for backpacking. It is so hard to find a decently lightweight tripod for a large DSLR camera. I think my setup weighed somewhere around the same. My tripod weighed 1.5 pounds and my DSLR is like 2.5 pounds. But I took the tripod backpacking like once or twice to take some astrophotography because you really actually need the tripod for that. I found that I would use it like one night out of the backpacking trip to take my star photos, and then I wouldn't use it. So to me, it just wasn't worth it, and I've literally not taken it backpacking in years. The Oregon Flower Lady said she brings her camera, and she brings spices, garlic powder and onion powder, salt and pepper, and 5 dice to play Farkle. I gotta look up what Farkle is, because maybe this is the new game that I need to start playing while backpacking, because dice are small and they don't weigh a lot. So this might be a fun thing to do. Spices, that's pretty cool. I've not heard that response before. River Days said can of beer. Kenneth Ball said portable cell phone charger. I feel like that's a necessity because your phone is kind of a necessity, right? If you're using it for navigation, maybe maps and photos, I think it's necessary. Ballsy Malsy said speaker and dog. Your dog is a luxury item? Oh my goodness. Seafish 11 said I always bring my electric toothbrush. It's just so much better than a manual one. That's bougie. Dana Garden Holmes said down pants in a small zippered cube. It is a pillow and literally saves my ass in quilts on a cold night. So it's a twofer item because she uses the down pants, probably, you know, at camp and stuff like that, and then puts them in the zippered cube as a pillow. I like your thinking. I think that's great. KHANH, knives and toilet paper. Well, the knives are a luxury item, but toilet paper is, in my opinion, a necessity. But what are you doing with the knives? I want to know. If you are watching, comment below. What are you doing with the knives? Are you like playing with them? Like, are you throwing them at trees? Or are you cutting things? What are you cutting? Are you hunting? What are you cutting with the knives? I want to know. Peak Stevie, a book, especially if days are short and more time will be spent in my tent. Amy Higgins said, my husband's is a backpacking pillow and mine is soft, fluffy, clean socks for bed. Mike Takes a Walk said he takes his Xped Mega Mat Light, a 4.7-inch thick sleeping pad. It's like sleeping in your bed at home. Melly Mountain Mama said she brings a sheet to cover sleeping pads, whiskey, and occasionally her Kindle and or a sketch pad. Wendy said she brings her camera and extra lenses. Mama Bear 060 said she brings foot scrub and lotion. Free foot massages at night, and it feels so good sliding into a sleeping bag with silky feet. Again, that is really, really bougie. I love it. It is perfect for this video because I think you win second place for bougiest hiker. Natty NM said, my AeroPress. Tim's leading brand said socks, comfy socks. Positively Kyle said cell phone, book, and Nutter Butters. Again, the cell phone I think is a necessity. Sean Barton said, the first night out I take a real protein, frozen pork chops. Ooh, interesting. Amish Honey said battery powered tent lights. Not heavy or necessary, but I love them. My friends that have the Big Agnes Mountain Glow tents, they love the battery powered lights in there. It's not necessary, but it is so much better to be in your tent with you can turn the light on versus having that headlamp and trying to do things with like the headlamp, because you always have to turn your head and then the light is just focused on that one thing. I think having lights is really nice. Top Shelf Backpacking said whiskey. Astronate said, my girlfriend introduced me to Stroop waffles with coffee on the trail. I love Stroop waffles. They are so freaking good. I don't know about this username. Rightsy Hennis said 2 or 3 knives. Another knife person. What are you doing with these knives? Please comment below. I need to know. Why are you bringing knives? 2 or 3 knives? Why? I need to know. I'm so curious. Rob Bradnam, these usernames, I'm so sorry, said, I carried my negative 10-degree sleeping bag for the entire state of California on the PCT. And, not to mention, my A7 III and GoPro. Wow, so 2 cameras and a negative 10-degree quilt or sleeping bag. I would say that's bougie. That's not necessary for the state of California. Generally, if you're hiking the PCT, you're in California during the summer, so I don't think 10-degree sleeping bag is super necessary, but it's comfortable for sure, especially in the Sierras. And you know, some people sleep cold. So, and the camera equipment, I'm sure you captured amazing things on the PCT. Those are all the responses that I got from you guys. It was so much fun going through all these responses. If I did not include one of your responses here in the video, I'd love to hear what your luxury items are in the comments below. And as always, I film 4 videos a month and 2 extras over on Patreon. So that's 6 videos a month. As always, I would love, love, love your video ideas in the comments below as well. I have filmed over 350 videos over the years, so ideas don't just come to me anymore. So I would love some ideas from you guys. If you haven't already checked me out over on Instagram, that is where I post pictures from my recent hiking and backpacking adventures. And if you want to hike and backpack here in this amazing state of Oregon, check out my website, hikeoregon.net, and there is tons of trail and hiking information there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next adventure.